Having just realised I've muted my mic, good evening all, good to see you, welcome back. After a little bit of a period away, not related to the title, but it almost was this evening. Good evening, hopefully I'm coming through okay to you all, but good evening to Raygun, Socially, to Groofus, to Space Saga, Sloth, Luna, Ray Louderbeck, Charlie McCawsome, and Hellwinter, and anyone else who's in and lurking. A few things that we're going to do today. We're going to have a look at the topic of the video, which is Star Citizen fatigue, what to do when you're just kind of a little bit sick of the game shit. There you go, I've just been demonetized because I've sworn at the beginning. I am bright, you're right. There's a lot of light going on in the background, so maybe I'll find some way of knocking that down slightly while we talk. It's probably a good idea, right? Let's pop some brightness back. How's that? Is that better? Am I less washed out now? Are we good? Is that okay? Is that all right? Hopefully that's better anyway. That's going to be all right. So cool. Better, less pasty white. There's nothing on this planet that can solve me being pasty white, Hellwinter. That was just washed out. But this is how white I am in real life. This is why I look so young. I'm actually 73. I just don't go out in the sun, and it solves the issue. So there's that. Yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to talk through a couple of things happening in the game at the minute, although there isn't that much. I suppose we could speculate a little bit on what happens, what is happening or will happen at IAE, because there's a bit of a glut of information. I don't know if anyone's noticed. And then what I'm hoping to do in about an hour is the guys and girls at DGP are forming DGP Assemble. They're getting together at Lawville. They're going to do that. So if you want to be part of that, all you've got to do is drop into the Discord, be in the DGP Discord, link in the description below, jump into the bar with everyone else, be at Lawville with them, ready to go in an hour from now. And we're going to speed run through ASD and get the Yormandi, because for those that don't remember, 2 weekends ago we had a showdown. The Yormandi got the better of us. We have since been back and we have shown the Yormandi who's boss, and now I feel the need to do it on stream and just prove that that is the case to all and sundry. So there's that. Current event, bugged and broken, i.e. his 6 leaked ships. Now everyone is caught up. Pretty much, remember, that's pretty much where we are at the moment. But Stunner, Harula, Hero Rolls, yep, good to see you all. Widget, hello, buddy, good to see you. So, yeah, a few bits to go through. The first bit that I wanted to talk about really is it's a bit of an interesting one, and that is the idea of Star Citizen fatigue. Right, I'm just going to try this. I've got some new stuff to play with in the background, which is why I'm over here and not focused on you guys. So I'm just going to have a muck around with it in the background, and hopefully it's not too distracting. If it is, let me know, but let's give some of this a go. And I want to, because the stream is not monetized anyway, there's no ads, there's none of that stuff. I just want to see what it's like in the background with some of this stuff. And then, obviously, if it flags up, it's fine. It means I can't use the stuff in videos. But we'll give it a go. Luna Maria says, last time I had SC fatigue, I stopped acknowledging it for roughly 3 years, including SC content blackout. Do you know what? Funny enough, you mentioned that, because we might get onto that in a little bit. Yeah, so one of the things that I found with 4.3 and then 4.3.1 and everything else was ASD was such a good event. The locations were really, really good. I really like the full run through, the Hyperion, manipulating the spaces, repairing everything. It's really cool. And then we got this, 4.3.2. And I guess I could put it on screen whilst we talk. That might be a good shout, maybe. But the problem that I have with this thing here is it's not great, right? I think we kind of looked at phase 2, which is 1750 rep points you need for each faction. The highest faction mission that you can get awards 100. So you need to run these things, even if you're doing the big ones, 18 times. And as you and I both know, like, we all know, Star Citizen's not the quickest game to get into, so it's been a bit interesting. And this patch has been a little bit back down to earth with a bump for me. And I experienced it last Friday. I've experienced it a little bit since the patch came out, which is that excitement to play for the moment has gone. And that coupled with a couple of other things is making this a little bit harder. Now, this is not related to the fact you guys haven't had a video in a while. I'm working very, very hard on a video about a ship that I love a lot, and I know a lot of you are real big fans of as well, and I am determined to get it as right as I possibly can. So, that is why that's taking a little while. I've re-scripted once, I'm about to re-script again and add a few things, change a few things, improve the flow in a couple of places. But it's going to be an all-out look at this particular ship. No surprises, but I'm not going to say it. It's looking at the lore, it's looking at how the stats and how they might change. It's looking at how it's going to be used in game, and it's drawing towards the end a historical comparison with real-world naval stuff, which is obviously kind of one of the things that I'm able to do that a lot of other content creators can't, which is take real-world naval experience, even if we're talking about Second World War stuff, and try and show how that might use in the game, where it's come from, and you know, a couple of uses for ships like this. So that's what we're going to talk about in the video. And it's taking much longer than I'd expected. There's not, obviously, because they're not released. It's really hard to make something up about a video when you only have 8 concept shots to do it. So between the struggle of that and the fact that this mission here, 4.3.2, and the whatever it's called, Fractured Frontiers, this stuff was a bit of a letdown. And when you are already struggling with motivation for the game, it's fine, because you can play things like ASD and it puts it off, and then you play this and it's just like, ugh. So yes, it's been a bit of an interesting thing, and I wanted to ask you guys, what is it that you do about Star Citizen fatigue and all that sort of stuff? Because of course, it's not just about playing the game, it's about appearing on screen with you guys and being positive, or at least adding some value, excuse me, to what it is that we talk about, so that you guys don't feel all the time like, you know, you're just phoning in, you're just tuning in to hear someone bitch about the game. And I try desperately not to do that, but I'm finding that a little bit hard this week. So there's that. I'm going to catch up with a bit. 4.4 is in Evo Kati, which is exactly that. And I'm hearing some good things, some not so good things coming through the Evo Kati, but that's natural with an Evo Kati patch, because they are just a mess. Less ships, more text, stability, and content this Hellwinter. It really is simple. I don't like that we can choose both factions as socially. I thought the point of these HS and CFP was to pick a side. Yeah, you raise an interesting point here. And we'll see. I wonder what that ship could possibly be, says Griefus. I have no idea, mate. Your guess is as good as mine. Good evening, Wooter. Good to see you. Beggar's Outpost. Good evening. Welcome in. Widget says, I think the reason 4.3.2 feels disappointing is because of the quality of patches this year. It will be totally acceptable content last year, but it just goes to show how far we've come. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong there at all. Beggar's Outpost gets past Star Citizen by playing Arc Raiders instead. Good. Play good games instead. Exactly that. Yeah, it's that. How long can it take to get a video out on the Misk Raptor? Yeah, really, really long if you don't have it as a referral bonus yet, and you know that's not discounting the fact it's not already in the game. But yes, it's taking a while. Sloth says, normally I either play another game or I just offer to help others with what they want to do in game. Yeah, so I think there's two things that kind of run in parallel here, which is you have the fatigue. It doesn't really matter what happens with Star Citizen, I'm kind of done with it. And then you have the other side, which is the 4.3.2 seems to have disappointed a few people. And there's problems with the missions in 4.3.2 as well, which we'll go into in a little bit. I guess the point that I'm kind of maybe a little bit getting across or trying to get across here is that the two are maybe more linked than we think, right? If everything that came out was the quality of ASD, had these new amazing locations, had the missions kind of put together the way they were, really engaging, adding up, opening up new wings and that sort of stuff, there wouldn't be a fatigue so much because it would be a really fun game to play. And then you get things like this. So for today, for example, some of the problems we've had with missions, not being able to find the tablets that we need to find, not being able to pick them up, or if we pick them up, it not registering. And then today we've had a lot of fun. By fun, I mean really not. Trying to get into stations that won't acknowledge that you're hailing them, nothing opens up, none of the elevator doors open up. Even the impound doesn't work to kind of force your way into the station by being impounded and then being teleported into the inside. None of that has worked, which is really quite annoying when you've got a ship full of pads to try and complete the mission. So yes, and I think the two are very closely correlated. Obviously, while there's a lot of bugs and things not working, the number of instances of fatigue amongst the Star Citizen community is gonna kind of skyrocket a little bit. So yeah, so that's it. I took Badger's advice and stopped playing SE for almost a year, says Can. Charlie McCawsome says, I've been playing June, but that's dying fast, so back to PUBG. Overall, says Charlie, I try to take every third month and play something else on a consistent basis. It helps. I find it helps to integrate that and touch some grass here and there. Yeah, I don't do the touch grass thing. The outside stuff is weird. There were bangs outside, which I'm hoping were fireworks, but it also could be World War III. I wouldn't know. So there's that stuff. I tend to skip playing some patches, like our current ones as Malemba, which helps with fatigue. I also have No Man's Sky to play. So yeah, it's interesting. Widgets put a screenshot in the leaks channel, which I'll go and have a look and see if we can find that, and I will load that up. I'll just check that it's not naughty pictures of something that it shouldn't be. Okay. So this is still on non-disclosure, isn't it? It's not me that I'm worried about. I'm more than capable of taking responsibility for my own decisions. I don't want to get anyone else in trouble. But yeah, visuals are on another level, says Widget. Yes, that's what I'm hearing a lot of as well. Don't go to the outside. There's people out there and they're crazy. You're not wrong. Wooter says, been playing Jurassic World Evolution 3 a lot since launch. I haven't played Star Citizen since last March. I do test some things every patch, but find out most are still broken, especially freight elevators. Yeah, so the freight elevators seem to have taken a turn for the positive after the supply or die stuff. If that's what it was. It was the most recent the race. It was really bad until they patched it, and then they went to the next patch and said, "Hey, look, it's bad, so we're going to extend into the new event." And they seem to have got a lot of stability through that. I haven't tried them recently as of 4.3.2, so I'm not quite sure how good they are. I know the stuff in personal hangars is pretty stable, but yeah, they have been problematic. Groofer says, for the ships that apparently shall not be named, what wave are we going to do this big meetup, or are we waiting for live? So what I'm intending to do is the day that it goes live, so that everyone can come in and give it a go. Yeah, I want to do that on launch day. It'll be interesting to see whether or not we do get our hands on it before launch. I know previously in some of the IAEs there's been the spot for it, but it's not been there until it's actually gone to live. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Of course, the other thing is that at the moment, no one can point to anything official that actually tells us what IAE's date is. Now, I've heard multiple times the 20th of November be bandied about, which is interesting because we're just over 2 weeks from that, which is a little bit scary. But that's where we are. So, yeah. What I am hearing though is that obviously there was a leak apparently of a bunch of the names of a bunch of ships. And there might have been dates attached to that as well, which obviously then allows people to figure out what release dates there are. Yeah, that's an interesting one, but we'll see how that plays out. So I'm just going to jump through. There's another piece of music that I want to test in the background because I might very well end up using this one as well. So where are we? Here we go. Oh, wasn't supposed to come up there, but there we go. There we go. So we'll try this in the background as well while we're talking. Sounding very dramatic and like things are a lot more serious than they are. um, so yes, lots to think about in terms of the ships game. Elevators hate us and the games especially. You're not wrong. So yeah, lots of good things coming in about Levski, which is obviously the core or the major landing zone in the Nix system. It's the kind of central player hub. It's going to be interesting to see how that looks and how that plays. But everything I'm hearing it is just as impressive as the shots that were shown at CitizenCon a little while ago. And I guess while we're talking, we can put that on the background just to remind people. Or if there's anyone that's joined that didn't see the CitizenCon stuff or has picked up the game kind of since then, this is what we are going to be getting at some point in, I say, the near future. What we're going to be getting hopefully soon. So I'm just going to go back now. Here we go. Beyond Pyro. That's the one, right? It was Beyond Pyro. I guess you're going to hear some music you shouldn't hear, but there you go. Here we go. Levski. Nix. Here we go. So there'll be lots of kind of the talking from them as well. But it's worth having this on in the background just to see. So yes, we're hearing great things, and of course, Nix will release in pieces as we get there. I hope the ship leaks are right, says Socially. Elevators, the Eldritch Gods of Star Citizen. That's it. Come on then, what are the ship leaks, says Single Track. Very good question. If someone wants to fire them to me in Discord. So here's the thing, right, is I generally tend to stay away from the leaks because we've had just as many, if not more, really poor quality leaks or misleading or whatever, misgrapped or anyone, about what's coming, and then of course it's turned out to not be anything of the sort. So I tend to try and stay away from that. I'd like to talk a little bit more about what we know and all that sort of stuff. Of course, there's always a space for speculation and all that, but if someone wants to fire something into the leaks and rumors or message me directly in the Discord, then fine, I'll take a look at what those are. Yeah, so it looks like there are 6, rather than kind of the kind of 3 or 4 that we're used to. That's one of the rumors. I'm just going to forward through to the video bits because they're far more fun than the other bits. But this apparently is pretty much precisely what it looks like. So I had people talking today about how cool it looks with this borehole thing of ships actually flying through, and you've got ships as big as the Idris and the Polaris just zipping through, able to pass each other comfortably. So yeah, a very, very cool kind of setup. If that's what it looks like on approach, then I am going to be over the moon. That's just incredible. All I want for the winter holidays is a beam wolf, which I know we won't get as only Idris have beams. I think there's going to be more beams and stuff as we go through, but yeah, you're right. I think beam weapons probably require larger ships for the power and stuff like that. So yeah, aren't there signs in the city showing the dates in the Evo build, or am I misremembering? I don't know. Anyone in Evo able to confirm? I would love to see more landing zones like Levski shown here. Yeah, I mean, this is incredible, and like we've been told before, most planets and stuff in the game, or most areas, will have some sort of unique landing zone. And I know that, or major landing zone, and I know that Pyro's not quite lived up to that, but then that's the state of Pyro. And maybe there's a connection there between, you know, why Pyro was quicker to put out and why Levski and Nyx is going to be built in sections. Maybe they're just trying to get it out much quicker. It was very interesting that by the time we've got to Pyro, the system was released pretty much in its totality, and there were a few things that came afterwards, but that's mainly around missions and stuff like that. And of course, the solar pulse that Pyro is famous for was in the game, I think, during testing and in the game for a little bit, and then it was removed, and we just haven't seen that return yet. And maybe that's a kind of nod towards the fact that they're waiting for a little bit more repair gameplay for that to happen. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how that manifests in game. There's a couple of questions that I'd really like to ask. I've kind of thought this. Maybe I'll reach out to CIG and see if I can get to talk to someone. What would be really interesting to see would be whether Pyro to be released as it was, as complete as it was always the plan. Whether it was that complete because they were waiting for server meshing to fall into place, or whether, you know, and whether that means that Pyro's being rushed, and by rushed I mean it's being given to us in chunks as they complete rather than waiting for the whole product, or whether they are looking at, you know, whether something happened with Pyro that whether they went, okay, maybe we need to build this as a smaller thing. Maybe that was the number of bug reports and stuff like that. So that would be really interesting to know from someone at CIG, just like what happened. Like, was it always the intent to release Pyro as complete as it was? And that sort of stuff. I think these are questions that it would be really useful to kind of know. So we've got some stuff in the leaks channel. And what I'd like to ask, please, ladies and gents, if you are, if you don't want to see the leaks, what I'll do is I'll grab my phone out of my pocket. Give us 2 minutes. We'll have a look at what's coming, and then we'll come back. So if you give me 2 minutes from now, we're just going to talk about it. Have they gone? Is that it? Are they gone? Are they gone? Good. I'm going to assume that they are, and if they're still here, then that's on them, not on us. Okay, so here are the ships. We have 3 from RSI. The RSI Perseus, the Hermes, and the Salvation. Now, we do know, for example, that they were talking potentially about working on a related ship to the Apollo series. There was basically one of two things. It was like related could either mean it's another medical ship, or related could mean that it's a variant based on the same hull. So Hermes in the UK is a delivery company, so that might be a cargo version of the Hermes, or of the Apollo. We just don't know at this stage, but that's like what people are talking about. There's the Greycat MDC. So there was the Mobile Tactical Commander, wasn't it? And then whatever the mobile. Someone give me a D for that fits like that. There's also the Kruger L-22 Alpha Wolf, which sounds like a really upsetting way to just sell more wolf. Is Alpha more powerful than the normal wolf? So is that just... They had said a little while ago that they were going to release weapon packs for the wolf. So although there were bespoke weapons, there'd be a choice of bespoke weapons rather than you being able to choose anything. That... and the 6th chicken on the lineup. So we've got Perseus, Hermes, Salvation 3, the MDC, whatever that is, 4, the Alpha Wolf 5, and the last one is the Drake Clipper. So that's what that looks like. Anyway, best stop talking Yeah, I would be too, Luna. I was hoping that the Apollo series was going to be not restricted, but kind of reserved for the medical stuff. If they've gone in another direction, although the Hermes and the Salvation, I mean, the Salvation sounds like another medical ship. Hermes sounds like a delivery ship. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the Salvation is. Why is that last one in quotes, Can? Why is that last one in? Is that something slightly different? Um, yeah. So what I will say about that. So that's it now. Welcome back in for those that wanted to avoid the leaks. We'll stop talking about that now. But we don't know how that's going to look. And again, I will add, leaks and spoilers have been distressingly unreliable. So we don't know yet. So don't take that as a list. I for one, will not be surprised. What if we don't get any or some of those ships, i.e., the Perseus there is the only one I think you can take to the bank. The Wolf they did say by the end of the year, so it might not even be that. Of course, there is still the December patch that could come in. So we'll have to see. We will have to see. But I think, yeah, the Perseus really is the only one now that we can take to the bank out of that. We know the Perseus is coming this year. It's been said it's been coming this year. John Crew, I think, confirmed as much. And this is kind of really the only one of the only slots left for that to happen. So yeah. Wooter says, wasn't there like a mini Drake Corsair last year's slideshow, the one with the wings? There was some sort of thing, and maybe that is the Clipper. You might be right. We can go and dig that image up if we need to, and go and have a look at it. But yeah, that's where we are with that. So yeah. I tell you what kind of helps for me. I know I'm jumping around topics here. So that's where we are with that. Levski is looking really rather incredible. I will say as we go through all that sort of stuff. I'm impressed that Levski's coming as quickly as it is. Although I will say that I wasn't expecting the move of getting a partial system and getting a few bits of the system and there being a lot of it that actually is still being built out. I'd had assumed, foolishly, of course, because the only lunatic thing you can do in Star Citizen is expect things to stay the way they are. Is I'd assume they would release Nyx like they were going to release, or they had released Pyro, which is in a complete ready to go state. I hadn't foreseen foolishly the move to put them all together. So there's that. Scotty Gust, welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. Yep, that is the wing ship as the Drake Clipper. Yep, that makes sense because Clippers also in terms of kind of the sail ships of old had lots of sails on them as well, so that wouldn't be a thing. Or that would be a thing, I think. Scotty Gus says, I deal with fatigue by not playing. Yeah, and I think this is one of the interesting things. Maybe I need to turn this into a bit of a streamer only thing, or I say streamer, a content creator only thing, right? Maybe that's where I need to go with this, which is that one of the things that we find, or I find really hard, is that it's not just about keeping up with the game and playing the game. It's about doing this with you guys as well, because you've got to get excited about it. You've got to be, or at least kind of optimistic and be able to deliver things in a very engaging way, or as engaging as you can manage. And I'm working on that. I realise that. I realise that I have to push my voice up and down a lot because otherwise I sound really bored and that doesn't help. So I am working on the kind of delivery and stuff, but sometimes it's quite hard to do that when you are struggling with motivation for the game yourself. And I think with a game like Star Citizen, that's only ever going to be normal, right? Is that sometimes you do find there are people with, it appears, bottomless wells of enthusiasm, like Space Tomato, who will just keep doing this, and they turn out multiple videos a day, and you know, the thing I love about Space is that he always, to me, comes across enthusiastic and engaged, and sometimes that's really hard to do. So there's that. But yeah, um, you're double, triple dipping on the SC exposure. There is a little bit of that as well, and I think sometimes this is partly why I don't go into the leaks. For whoever said the leaks earlier, I think it was Single Track. He said, "Come on, then, one of the ship leaks." One of the reasons I try to stay away from that is one of the things that content creation does for you, and I won't just say content creation, something that happens to you when you're in the content creation space all the time, whether you're consuming it like you guys are, or whether you're sat here gobbling off the camera like I am, is surprises are increasingly hard to come by. So you have these supposed surprises, like what's being released at IAE, and what will happen, like is happening now, is people want to talk about it. No, I don't mind talking about it, and don't anyone feel like you forced that, because if I don't want to talk about it, I won't talk about it. It's that simple. We just don't talk about it. Like, for example, the idea of money in the game, you know, real world money and what that is worth. I do not talk about that. Full stop. The end. That's it. Um, but yeah, it becomes harder and harder to be surprised by things because, of course, people are eager and they want to know. Like, yeah, there's leaks, and let's find out what Badgers thinks. And then, you know, we kind of talk about that, and then it's like, oh, look, I then you start thinking about, well, what is the Clipper? And then, oh yeah, it's that ship from a couple of years ago or a year ago, and everyone goes, oh yeah, I get it. So like the surprise is minimized, and I think that's also the thing is when you know stuff is coming, sometimes that makes it hard to. So yeah. Um, so Scotty Gus says, I truly believe the boss enthusiasm reserved for content creators making money off Star Citizen. Everyone's smiling while they're banking. Yeah, and I mean, I think this is why I kind of said that I would never do this as a full time job. I would always keep my job, and then maybe if I retire, I'd do this a bit more. Um, but like you guys, the yeah, exactly that. Luna Maria's just hit the nail on the head far more eloquently than I'm having any hope of doing this evening. Luna says Space Tomato says covering SC is his career, so he's definitely not covering it as a hobby like so many others. And that's the key. In the reason I still feel so connected to you guys, and I feel that I have a responsibility here, is this is my hobby too. The game is my hobby, and I have said to people multiple times in the Discord when we sit in there and chat that if I feel like this is killing, not not just a bit of fatigue, if this is killing my love for Star Citizen, I will stop doing this because gaming is how I relax, and this is also why I think I've kind of resisted for a while talking about other things in the gaming space. So I'll talk about Cyberpunk 2077 to the cows come home because I love that game. It's incredible. I talked a little bit about Helldivers, but that's because Sony were pulling some shitbag moves, and I feel like talking about how big companies sometimes need gamers to kick them in the nuts. I don't feel like that's talking about the game so much. It's talking about Sony needing kicking in the nuts by a bunch of gamers, which we did. Victory. Managed democracy survived intact, and we're all happy for that. So I think this is the key: is that you know there's always that bit in the back of my mind that goes, is this getting to the point where I need to pack it in? And this is why things like channel memberships don't exist for me, is that I don't want to take anyone's money. And then, the week after they do that, announce that I'm stopping streaming and all that sort of stuff. To be clear to everyone, that's not what I'm considering doing at the moment. I'm not considering anything of the sort, anything as drastic. I think it's always just worth saying that maybe the way I get over fatigue is start taking people's money if they want to give it to me. I don't know. I think it's a good point, Scotty and Luna. I think you're on the right way there. Um, but yeah, I'm a content creator, and SC is responsible for most of my subs and tiny amount of money. But my YouTube channel is definitely a hobby. Yeah, absolutely that. Eighth Gauge, welcome in, buddy. Good evening. Good to see you. So yeah, by the way, what is your drink of choice today? I'm enjoying some really good Aberfeldy whiskey. Very nice. Hey, Ratna, good to see you, man. Yeah, so I'm on a go. Again, another school night, and it's being slightly hectic at work. So, and it will, I hasten to add, it will always be hectic at work. That's just this is my life now. So yeah, this is what's happening. Citizen Ninja, hello. Viper Leo, hello, buddy. Welcome in. I really enjoy your channel. For what it's worth, you really feel real, unlike so many others. I'm glad, and I think the guys and gals and in the Discord will tell you. Um, I might be a little bit more enthusiastic here, ever so slightly, because I'm trying to raise my voice and that, and you're trying to do that presenter thing of public speaking, and that's not always that's more the better way. Not the it's not that I'm more positive necessarily. It's that you're trying to do that presenter thing of keeping people engaged. And I know I'm doing a good job because Luna tells me that I'm doing a good job and it's engaging. So that's what I'm ready for. Um, but yes. So yeah, hey Jamlet, good to see you, my friend. So yeah, both eighth, Retina, both. Whatever name we're going with. Do you want me to still call you Retina, or would you prefer I change over to eighth gauge? Um, but yes, so I think what I've been relating to everyone is that there's the gamer fatigue that happens. I think there's an extra element when you're trying to keep up with all the news and everything else, and that makes things a little bit more challenging from my perspective, and that's what kind of um, makes the fatigue happen. But yes, um, yeah. So choices of Guinness or some different apple ciders. What's your favourite cider, man? But we're either going to be really friends or we won't be friends ever again. Um, what's your favourite cider? If you had to choose your top three, what would they be? Stanley says I'm only here because occasionally Badgers show sausage on stream. Do you know what? I'm never going to live that down, am I? I have an even stranger thing in my fridge right now. All right, you guys aren't going to believe me, but I can go and show you. Bangers and Guinness, says Dell. Nice. Um, there's a story there. I have the strangest thing in my fridge. I have ostrich fillets. No, I didn't kill the ostrich myself. They're selling them at my local supermarket, ostrich fillets. So I'm going to give that a go. JP says, show it. Apple cider with donuts. Nice. Hello, John. Good to see you, my friend. Um, yeah, it's in a packet thing. So you can't see through into the packet. It's in like a sealed kind of almost like I guess kind of like a paper plastic bag thing. But yeah, it's sat in there. It's two ostrich fillets. I saw them and I thought I'd give them a go. I've had ostrich in the past, and it's quite nice. So yeah. Ciders from local microbreweries, which makes them seasonal. Wish you could get them year round. Nice. Wooter says it's also a difficult year for content creators overall, since there are so few ISCs and overall information this year, a so-called bug fixing. Yeah, there's that too, 100%, and that's why the CitizenCon was such a surprise. There was so much packed into 2 hours that was kind of incredible. So yeah, Lawville, please, Ken. Um, I'm not at the station. I'm on the major landing zone. So yeah, the there is a little bit of a glut with content and that sort of stuff, and I've been doing the flash traffic, which is the just giving you the headlines, taking out all the crap, just what's the most important bits for gamers, and just giving you those in kind of like sub 7 minute videos, and even that at the moment's gone pretty quiet, but it's fine. I think between that and what's been going on with ships and whatnot, there has been an awful lot going on. We've had a lot of ships to deal with, and again, it's not my thing. I'm more than happy to look at them and that sort of stuff, but a lot of people will talk about things like they'll do buyer's guides. Now, you'll probably have noticed that when I was with the info runners, I wouldn't do their buyer's guides either. I think I might have done one, and that was just because the person that Execute was going to do that with wasn't around or couldn't make it. And basically, if it wasn't that, he wouldn't get a video out. And you'll notice that I refrained from making any sort of value judgment because it's just ridiculous that I could sit here and tell you what to do with your money. That's a silly idea, as far as I'm concerned, because that's not what I do for that sort of stuff. So you know, and taking absolutely white flashbang. Jesus. Unfortunately, it's just one of those websites. Sorry, I just got flashbanged by the PC. um, but yeah, so here's why I got flashbanged as we were talking about this. Is I'm just going to go over and have a look at the funding dashboard in a minute. But yeah, so there's that. But the game itself, I think that the rod that CIG have made for their own back is they've shown us that they can create incredible mission locations that are fully integrated. I mean, if you look at those ASD facilities from just the top, they don't look like anything. Do you know what I mean? They look like a budget distribution center. They're just eh. And yet inside them is some of the best location design, if not the best location design that CIG have ever shown us. Ever. Right? So to then go back to here's a mission that doesn't always work, and you've got to do that 18 times for one part of this is a little bit like eh. So yeah. Values in the eyes of the flashbang, I mean holder, yeah, exactly that. Or a flashbang even. Hey, Sangripa, good to see you, my friend. Good morning. In your part of the world. So yeah. Oh man, he hit a sore spot on my soul. Their distribution centers are such a pity they didn't get to finish them. Yeah, there's so much they could be doing with distribution centers. The idea of making them these sorts of dungeons, these 5-player or group of player activities, going to steal high value cargo and all that sort of stuff. There's so much they can do with them. I also think, and people have been saying this, and it makes more and more sense the more that I hear it, is that, you know, they are what? They're quite taxing on your system. So you know, the distribution centers, the frame rates there aren't great. Because for whatever reason, whether they've not been optimized or it's just the way they've been put together or whatever, they're not great. Yeah, they talked about distribution centers for over 3 years, and then it's just a blunt experience. You're entirely right. We'll put Siege of Origin up there with the ASD facilities in the old Kovalek station. Yeah, so Kovalek station remains my favourite mission of all time. Not because of necessarily it's the most fun. It's my favourite of all time because it indicates what they can do with that style of mission. A mission with absolutely no combat and how interesting they can make that. That was very, very cool. And then when you put that against the sort of things that they can do with you know, with what they've shown off at ASD, there's so many cool things that they can do. Charlie says, just to show that sometimes miracles happen, it can happen to SC someday. Tarkov is going 1.0 as of November 15th after 8.5 years in development, just saying. Yeah, I'm interested that Tarkov is doing that. I have Tarkov. I might go back and play some more when it goes to 1.0. That might be quite good fun. Kovalex is a good mission. Really like that one. We need more like it. Yeah. What I'm really interested to see with Siege of Origin is because it looks like it's going to be instanced to players, is how that works now with the new performance with things on shards. The fact that we have server meshing in now, I think Siege of Origin is going to be an incredible experience, and I cannot wait to give that a go. Underground mining and distribution centers with the Atlas Geo would have been so awesome as a possibility. Exactly that. And those sorts of places, like not everything needs the combat slant. You know, areas that are purely industrial by nature. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you have those sorts of areas? That's very, very cool. You know, so yeah, industrial areas too would be awesome. Siege of Origin is so fun, says 8th Gauge. I get why they had to take it out though. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, because obviously the AI sometimes was very, very slow to respond because of server tick rates. Now the tick rates are up across the board because multiple servers are now doing the job of one. I'm really interested to see how Siege of Origin goes. I think there's going to be a lot more fun, for example, sitting on a building, securing a building, getting to the roof, and leaving a sniper team in place. Because the AI are going to be so much more mobile with higher tick rates, and they're going to respond and come across. The snipers aren't just going to be a case of, well, I've killed everything I can see, and now I need to move because I know the rest of the AI isn't going to move. So yeah, there's that sort of stuff as well. That's looking kind of really cool. So yeah, and I think things like that as well. These activities, naturally, when it comes to stuff that we do with the org and we do with DGP in the Discord, those sorts of things are fun when you've got a group together. They're really good. Now, of course, lots of people are doing the mission stuff. So it's not just a case of, okay, I'm doing this and I'm not enjoying it. It's the case of, well, I can't do the fun thing because we all want to get this stuff completed. But then it's just like, well, now I'm being forced to kind of do that. And I really don't want to do that sort of content. And that's just rubbish. So yeah, there's lots of that to build on. So let's just pop across because I think this is going to be really, really interesting. So here is the funding dashboard for Star Citizen. This is the funding dashboard for every year since 2012. You can see in the first year they made 7 million, all the way up to where we are at the moment, and this is live. You can see November's just started. What's really interesting here is this is by month. So you can see that red is November. So we started, whatever that is, this is why I don't like this. It's not particularly obvious what level that is. But it looks to be about 1.8 million. Oh, sorry, 108 million. Yeah, that's where we are now. But it looks to be about that. Maybe just a little smidge under, right? Hey, Notorious, good to see you. The highest level we've ever started at before was about 82.5. So we're 25 million over the best year to date by this stage, which is kind of crazy. And you can see there as we go through, they've had some real bumper months. But I think going through as I'm looking, with the exception of maybe April versus 2022, it pretty much looks like every single month, maybe June as well against, again, 22, every single month looks to have been an increase on previous months. So, are you, Luna? Well, do you know what? You're right. And if people want to listen to that, that's fine. But I think what makes it kind of crazy with this game in particular is we know very few things are going to stay the same. I mean, even when armor comes in, when resource network comes in, when repair comes in, engineering, all that sort of stuff, even the ships as they are will change fundamentally just by adding those options to it. And then when armor comes in, how often stuff penetrates the hull and starts knocking out components or damaging components, that is going to fundamentally change the feel of every ship in the game. Full stop, the end. Even the fighters, even stuff that isn't multi-crewed, they are still going to have their components hit. And the components in, say, a Gladius cover a lot more of the area of the ship by percentage than it does in, say, a Polaris, right? And that scales up the bigger ships that you get. So I think that's why, personally, I stay away from it. I also recognise that loads of people get value from it when they go and see, young blood and all that sort of stuff. They're getting lots of value from seeing that sort of content. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the content creators. I just, I think helping X number of people would feel kind of useless to me the moment I realised that I'd led one person down the wrong path and they've made a financial decision based on that. If I'm doing buyer's guides, so there's that. So yeah, we are in alpha state. This is so bad. How much money total have they gathered these 13 years so far? So yeah, we're up to whatever it was. So we're up to $882,800,588. Does that tally with what? I'll find out. Let's have a look. I'm just going to open this off screen because I don't know what it's going to do. But let's have a look at their funding model. Jesus Christ, language, and see if it says the same thing. Let's have a look. So 880, yeah, pretty much the same thing from the RSI website. $882,978,207. So slightly higher on this. Gods above. Imagine the articles they hit when they hit 1 billion. So, yeah, and look, like there's sometimes when Star Citizen doesn't need defending. There's sometimes when Star Citizen really needs calling out. I'm gonna go full defend on this, right? They didn't just build a game. They're not just building a game. They're not just building two games. They built two games and 4 game studios, 5 game studios, if you count the one that they bought across the surface of the planet. And this is why going to their own webpage, I'm going to get flashbanged again. I'm sorry. Where are we? Kind of Imperium Games. Flashbang incoming in 3, 2, 1. There you go, because it's white. There you go. Flashbang. Ta-da. So what makes this really interesting when you go to the latest, okay, is the financial stuff that they release. That's the stuff that we had a look earlier on at this year. Okay, is you've got the income stuff, and that's loads of money, and everything's trending upwards, which is really good. Here's where are we? Headcount analysis. So whilst I don't disagree with you at all, Wouter, here's what is worth putting into here. Okay, is in 2012 there were 13 staff, of which only 10 were developers. I don't know if you can see that there. I'll zoom in a little bit. Maybe you can see that a little bit closer. Oh god. Right, here you go. So I don't know if you can see that. So there was 1 general admin staff, 10 development, and 2 publishing ops, community, and marketing. Okay, as of 2023, that's grown to 724 and multiple premises. When they did this, they were working out of somebody's basement, right? And this is the key thing here, in terms of what they've done with the money that we've given them. So all of that money that's come in, and the other thing is, and the reason why comparisons with this versus any other game in development, and I see you've mentioned GTA 5, or someone's mentioned GTA 6. The key thing here is that when you look at Rockstar's financials, they talk about specific costs associated to the game. What they don't talk is about all of the costs across their other studios. They have a 600-person studio, I forget which one it is, that is responsible purely for the game, the engine. So the core engine that sat behind GTA 5, that then sat behind Red Dead 2, that's now being used for GTA 6, those staff are the company's normal running costs. That's not necessarily included in any cost analysis anywhere else. Those 600 staff maintain their engine. And what they'll do, much like the teams that they talk about in Star Citizen, the team that are working on GTA 6 will say to the engine team, hey, we need you to do this, except there are 600 people on that team. Which is why Red Dead 2 was so damn impressive, and why I'm seeing things like, and I don't know how true this is, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's the case, something like 2/3 of the buildings in GTA 6 are going to be enterable. Like, that would not surprise me when you've got a team of people who can support the engine like that. So, and this is why, is a lot of their other running costs, they're just standard running costs. Because Rockstar work on multiple projects, you can't, it's really hard to say, okay, if you've got a dev that is spending part of their week just maintaining the engine and then part of their week dealing with specific requests for the GTA 6, but were employed before GTA 6 and will continue to be employed after GTA 6, how do you attribute that person's cost? That's not a GTA 6 cost. That person would be employed anyway. So do you see what I mean? And this is why people making these comparisons between what's happening here, this studio has every bit of its income at the moment is, apart from about, I think, 40, 50 mil from someone buying into the company, is from us. It's from backers. And it's all based around Star Citizen by a massive margin. And then there are some profits from Squadron 42 already because there was a point at which they sold Squadron 42. So I've got the game pack already. And what's really cool is because I got the concierge, I've now got a spare game pack. So when it launches, we'll be doing a giveaway, but there will be no advertising of it. Because I want to reward you guys for being here every week. What I don't want to do is give that to people who are just going to rock up for the giveaway and then, in the nicest possible way, fuck off again. Hey, Kickles, have fun in Battlefield 6. So yes, so there's that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it's kind of that. Everyone will boast articles and videos when they hit 1 billion. That's it. And what people miss is the fact that they now employ over 1,000 people. So that company has grown almost 100 times in size. And I would not be surprised now, bearing in mind this is 2 years old, I would not be surprised that when this comes out and they are, at this point now, they are 100 times bigger than they were. So they've grown the company, they've developed their own labs for things, they've bought into bigger premises. Both Frankfurt and Manchester have got into bigger spaces because they've needed them. Yes, they've done some wonderful things. You look at their bar and it looks like Horizon. Their studio is now the only constant, which is the Constellation. Like, yes, they've done those things, but Jesus Christ, if you can't do that in computer gaming as an industry, where the hell can you do it? So there's that. So yeah. Hey, Maccabees, good to see you, my friend. The thing is, next year Squadron 42 is supposed to come out, so I bet next year they'll have time for what they are now if the single player game is any good. I think. Well, I'm going to jump into the game now, so I'm just gonna go across. And I might become a little bit kind of PowerPointy, like slides and stuff like that. Just massive frame drop while I get into the game. Bear with me. It's all good. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll jump into Discord, and we'll go across from there. But yes. So we'll see how many we've got to jump into the game. Judomo, all that sort of stuff. Are you guys still good to jump in and have a look and have a chat about it? A few huge factors in 2026: the official release of Squadron 42, the release of the Ironclad, the release of the Galaxy, and the restart of the Merchantman, my precious Merchantman. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what gets started next year and what doesn't. We know the Kraken's in production. So they've obviously gotten to the point now where big ships are no longer a massive fear for them. It'll be interesting to see how they manage that going forward. How many more big ships are we going to get? Don't worry, we'll hold the line, says Reagan. I'm really hoping it'll be next year, and I think they're going to upset a lot of people if it isn't next year. I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. But yeah, so booting up the game, going to join the guys in Lawville. So Saga, are you guys all formed up and ready? Am I good to be joining you guys yet, or do I need to wait a little bit? Hoping that Judomo, Tibbs, or whoever it is. Yeah, so the Endeavour is not going to be released before 1.0, they confirmed. I think it's just because it's how difficult it's going to be as a flashbang, as a product to put out, with the modularity and that sort of stuff, and how it's not just a part of the ship; it's entire bolt-on areas. But yeah, I doubt Chris wants to launch it next year, seeing GTA 6 is supposed to come out. Chris wants everyone to fully make it Game of the Year. I mean, yeah, he's kind of lost that, to be honest. The only thing is the Game of the Year doesn't get declared at the end of the year, does it? So Game of the Year is part way through. But given the fact now that it's going to be what's it called? It's going to be Grand Theft Auto is coming out in May, so it wouldn't make sense to try and beat it to the punch, because there'll be a bunch of people who haven't yet who are going to go and get PlayStations to play it, because we all know how Grand Theft Auto works. It gets released on games consoles before we get to touch it. Fine, whatever. The key thing I think for us will be that it will likely be end of Q3, beginning of Q4, I think. As you were talking about the Perseus, I remember you were one of the first streamers YouTubers that came across when I started to play the game, and the video was about the Perseus. Was it indeed? Very cool. Really looking at that. Are they even in the same audience? Very likely. So, fun fact about Grand Theft Auto 5, it's the fastest selling piece of entertainment media in existence. That includes music, books, films, TV, anything. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the fastest selling bit. Even if Grand Theft Auto 6 is not great, and let's face it, that isn't going to happen. Um, it will be carried massively off the back of that alone. So even if it's a damp squib, which I do not believe for a second, it's going to be a case of, Star Citizen or Grand Theft Auto 6 will get huge amounts of purchases. And there are people out there who are going to buy it, buy a console just to play the game. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? I don't think there's any big console releasing between now and Grand Theft Auto 6, so it's going to be for those consoles. Yeah. You were 2 against 3, if I remember. What was that? Oh, defending the Perseus. Do you know what? This is the beautiful thing about how the Perseus, though. It doesn't need defending. It will just slap people in the face really damn hard. Right, I'm going to jump in to Area 18. So, very shortly, I'm going to start to go very slideshowy. There's nothing much that I can do about that, but I'm going to jump over to the game. And we'll play. We'll join the boys in Lawville. We're going to go straight to the Yormandi. I'll keep talking with you guys, obviously, but that's going to be the plan now. So no camera, don't need to keep that on, any of that sort of stuff. And then I'll turn that on again at the end. So yeah, Red Dead franchise, says Luna, was the first Rockstar franchise I played. I love everyone, especially Undead Nightmare and Red Dead 2. Awesome, absolutely. Do you know what? I haven't played Red Dead 2 yet. In fact, I haven't played either. I played a tiny little bit of the online stuff, which I think you'll agree, Luna, is probably a very bad reflection of just how good the game could be. So I apologise profusely for not being part of that experience, but I will be soon. I plan to sit down at some point and play Red Dead to death. So yeah, I'm going to jump into Discord with the guys, see where we are, and then what I'll probably do is while I'm keep talking to you guys, I'll mute the Discord and we'll go from there. So bear with me just a second. Gentlemen, all good?
Always good.
Awesome. Who's I'm in now. Whose hangar am I coming to?
Well, join on you, and you can. You're actually at Norville, aren't you?
I am indeed.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, set up party.
I'll catch you guys at the spaceport if you want to sling invites and stuff. I'm going to mute myself though, so you guys can keep talking about whatever, and I'll.
So most of us are at Norville actually. At Norville, so.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'll catch you at the spaceport, not the station.
All right. Yeah.
I'll catch you at the port. So yeah, that's me back with you now. But yeah. So yeah, we're going to go and kill the Yormandi. We're going to head to ASD and do all that sort of good stuff. And hopefully actually kill it this time. So the last time we had a bit of a nightmare. I got as far as the room and then didn't realise that you couldn't press the button without sealing the room entirely, and whoever was in there was left in there. So 2 of us made it, and that was it. And we got, that sloth, exactly that. However, I will hasten to add, we have killed the Yormandi since. I am now the proud owner of a couple of eyes and a tongue. So yes, we're going to go do that now and give that a go. Does it need to be ballistics against the Yormandi? Does anyone know? Because at the moment I'm rocking Demico and the P6LR. Wooter, absolutely, mate. You take it easy, buddy. Good to see you, and we'll see you next week, my friend. Have a good evening.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Who said that? Yeah, so hopefully it's not. Hopefully that's kind of talked a little bit about the. What's the word that I'm looking for? The fatigue that goes with this game sometimes, and it is just sometimes it's a little bit tough. The game does a really good job sometimes of getting us to hate it, and that's unfortunate. But there are some experience for which I will continue to do the fun stuff. Marlax, hello mate, welcome in. Finally did the Yormandi after living in Onyx for a week. Found cheeky spots and did tests. I've still not got them to melee attack the mining vehicle off the on the cliff edge. Okay. Is that a thing? Is that what we're trying to achieve? Is that the intent? Sloth says, last night me and some buddies tried killing it and we had no idea if we were even hurting it. Much tried using the plasma batteries, but wasn't sure if that was needed. Did you kill it, Sloth, did you? Yeah, I got the data pad from that mission that I don't need anymore, so that can go. Probably don't need those, so let's get rid of that. Just randomly littering, but nobody cares. It's Lawville, right? Sly567, g'day peeps, the big stuff. How do you deal with Star Citizen for Sea by having a bevy for each bug I come across? Sly, how you're still alive, my friend, is absolutely beyond me. We didn't kill any of them. Well, we managed to achieve it. I don't know if energy weapons are going to make it better or worse, but I guess we'll find out. So I'm hoping we'll go and catch these guys in just a second. What's that? Why does that say red? You see on the map? This one doesn't say red. On my mini-map, top left. That one does. Interesting. But yeah. Yeah, no, so the sitcom video that Noob and I did, that was a bit rough. Because we drunk every time they said words. The problem is, Noob and I were really good at choosing the words they were going to say. So we just got hammered. I applied a ton of batteries into the pools and they never killed them, but the parallax rifle could detonate all power cells, even when blowing them up into empty pools. Nice. It's Lawville, says 8th Gauge. Littering is also almost required, at least based on the appearance of the city and the exceedingly high standards of care. Absolutely. This person appears to be... Or not. See you later. I think that's one of us. Behold batteries in front of the snakes. Beam shot. Interesting. Okay, we'll give that a go. I don't know if the guys are in. I don't know if I can get an invite. Question mark. I can has invite. Whoever's putting the invites together. Go on. I dare you. I don't know who you are, but I'll make you famous. And there's that weird crouching bit afterwards. Also, this worries me. It's like, why can I see skin under my helmet? Like, that's not a good idea in space, I'm not going to lie. Get one person to take a railgun. Interesting. I don't know if I've got a railgun here. That might have to be someone else. I don't think this is my... Yeah, this is my landing zone at all, so... Yeah, we seemed to do okay with normal weapons last time, so that was alright. I'm going to jump back in Discord with the guys, and we'll try and coordinate.
Yeah,
I am loading up on your server. I couldn't do it with my ult, so I'm coming in as Del Kenobi, but I got to...
Okay, back with you, boys. Who's pushing out the invites, please?
We need to...
Is I can do it if you want.
Yeah,
Right. Del Hellwinter can. Slan, Sloth, I don't know if you want to join in, mate, or whether you're doing something else, but I can grab you too. There we go. Is that everyone? It should be.
Can you resend...
Del's.
Resend Del?
No worries. There you go, mate.
You got it.
Sorted. Good stuff. So yeah, so I'm whoever's going to fly us there. If someone wants to pick up the mission and share it, I'll just kind of sit chatting with the stream, and then I'll drop out once we get there and come and rejoin you. But it means you guys can be the.
Do you want to come to a hangar, just so you don't get...
Yeah, I'll like I say, I'll just follow you guys on. Just grab a mission and share it, and I'll come with you guys.
Tips you want to...
So yeah. So that's the mission at the moment. We're off to kill the Yormandi. And that'll be that. So just a quick thing to do at the end. Just because, as someone quite rightly pointed out earlier, there's not a lot going on in the game at the minute. In terms of game news and stuff, we're really struggling for stuff. So, yeah. Luna says, Badges, I typically play RPGs and occasionally good space sims, but Red Dead 2 was very well worth the detour. Even my husband was fighting back tears in some scenes. You must play it. I will do, Luna. Based on your recommendation, I'll go and pick it up at some point, if it's not already on sale, and I'll go grab it. So here's the thing that I was thinking, is a couple people in the past have asked me about like channel memberships and stuff. And as I've said to you guys, that I'm a bit reticent, mainly because I don't know what extra value I can give at the moment. But if I was to just record myself playing those games, so other stuff, so it wasn't necessarily Star Citizen centric, it was about other games like Cyberpunk and Red Dead and all that sort of stuff, would that be the sort of things that would interest people, or would you want more Star Citizen content? If you're the sort of person that wants memberships at all, I completely get that you don't, and if you don't, and that's fine. But yeah, maybe that would be something that... Sloth, I will sling you an invite, my friend. You might have to work to catch us up, but yeah. Where are you? There you are. Jamlak, I don't think has an invite, but he's got one now. Game by game basis, says John. Awesome. But if I was to like stick some games up and that sort of stuff, so rather than having to go through a whole recording session, what I could do is just record myself playing a game, right? So that's nice and easy. I could talk to you guys a little bit, talk about how I'm experiencing the game, but that would be an easier way to put out content rather than trying to curate the stuff that I'm doing with Star Citizen. So if that was useful, then that's certainly something I can consider. So yeah, let's put everyone together and see what's going on. Cool. That was the weirdest lift ride I think I've ever seen. I usually give my Prime strap to SC streamers, says Mackie Moose. Charlie Awesome says the new Sand is an amazing team game. Interesting. I don't think I've seen it, but I'll have a look. Yeah, so Mackie Moose, well prompted, my friend. It's probably a good time to talk about this. I'm not overly keen with the idea of going on Twitch. And I don't want to get into what's actually happened. If you're aware of Twitch, you probably know what I'm talking about, but there are some people on there who... Okay, let's change what I was going to say. I'm going to say it like this. My issue with Twitch and Kick is Twitch has tighter rules. Kick seems to be a little bit the Wild West of streaming, and I can understand why people don't want to engage with Kick. However, from my perspective, Kick applies its terms of service much more evenly, regardless of who you are. Twitch seems to be much more, if you say the right, or if you think the right things, you can get away with pretty much anything you want. And one of the things they seem to have been getting away with on Twitch is the support of terrorists. As an ex-service person who genuinely believed in what I was doing, I'm not going to support them, even if it's people like yourself, Mackie, who, you know, there's a Prime sub and it's going to someone. If it doesn't go to me, it goes to someone else. That's fine. I'm not telling anyone what to do with their money, and I'm not telling anyone not to do with stuff on Twitch. But bear with me 2 seconds. Looks like they need my attention. I'm not going to give them money. Hey guys, you alright?
Yeah, we're going to
Make your own way.
Hang on.
I'll catch you up.
Stackers Hangar. Okie doke. I'll catch you there. So yeah, so that's the bottom line from my point of view. I don't want to turn this political. There is a reason I don't talk about politics and everything on the channel. However, you know, I know if I decide to go to Kick, people are going to be like, "Holy moly, has Badger just become some sort of, you know, political psychopath?" No, far from it. But you know, it's one of the times when having morals really upsets, can really do you some harm. Is that I recognise that Twitch is probably the more popular platform at the moment, at least. although their viewership's taking a downturn, I recognise that people are a lot more comfortable with Twitch. I don't want to make people uncomfortable, but again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, you can't put a price on living with yourself. And I'm not going to. Just because certain people on Twitch say the right things when it comes to certain stuff, they support the right causes, they have the right banners up, that sort of stuff, that shouldn't give them a carte blanche to say and do whatever the hell they want without, and breach terms of service, and Twitch just go, well, you think the right things about this thing, so I'm going to let you go with everything. So there's that. Anyway, I'll drop that now because that's the, oh, sorry, lol. There's that. Same reason, says Charlie. Yeah, exactly that. So yeah. So I've been thinking about it for a little while, and that maybe I go across to that, especially seeing as, that's where, now that I've got my new faster internet connection, like streaming even to multiple locations might work. So I've been considering it more, but yeah. Oh, we're going for the lab sample, the 1,000,000 credit mission. That's what we're going for. Is that one? Is it the 1,000,000 credit one? Yeah. So this is if we find it. Luna says, Twitch is a bit too juvenile for me. That's just my preference. I only use it to get notifications for 2 channels because YouTube notifications are unreliable. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and I think that's the reason to move across. And, I can completely understand if someone doesn't want to follow across. That's not a problem. What I'm not going to do is I'm not going to abandon YouTube for any of that stuff. Obviously, the content creation is still the key thing that I want to do. I've also got a little bit of a side project that I'm working on, and this is probably the last time I'm going to mention it for about 6 months. But it's just worth, seeing as you guys are here with me now, you get this bit of news. There's something else that I'm working on that I'm going to try my hand at. It's not something that I've ever done on the channel before, and it's not something that I've ever talked about. It is Star Citizen related. It's something that I want to give a go, and I'm long-term kind of planning to maybe do a little bit more of this stuff if the first one works out well. There's a lot of learning involved for me. It's taking a lot of taking my skill set in a lot of new directions, but yeah, and that will absolutely require YouTube and can't be done on Kick. So yeah. Notorious says, yeah, stop using Twitch ages ago for the reason you described, plus the hot tub streamers, another in that vein. I mean, whoa, Notorious. I mean, I could be incredible in a hot tub. I'm just saying. Yeah. 8th gauge stands for Luna. Twitch is too juvenile. All those noises and animations are a distraction and detract from the content, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I understand that. I think. I can see how they might be a little bit fun. There's a couple that I thought about playing with, but we'll see. It's not necessarily something that I go to streaming for, all those extra animations. It's mainly just a case of, it allows me to bring some of my sense of humor in a way that you just can't do on YouTube. Stella says, completely respect your principles with the Twitch thing. Hopefully in the next 3 years, maybe Amazon will sell off Twitch to someone else with different ethics. Yeah, I think they just need to get rid of Dan. Drinkers with hot tub problems. There's no problems when you're in a hot tub other than it's not hot. That's the only... no emotes on YouTube. I mean, we can certainly start to go that way potentially, but, we'll see. Lol says Looney. Yeah, I know, right? This is why I've always thought of the Only Friends stuff. Is I could take that in a new direction by forcing people to give me money, or I take my clothes off. Is like make people to pay you to keep your clothes on. That could be quite good fun, right? Don't give him ideas. After the sausage stream, it's like that's not a sausage. Yeah, sorry. I'll hang my head in shame now. Way too much content here, not enough adverts. I feel lost. Yes, that too. And I think that's the thing, right? Is that, like I said, when you're not doing this for money, This is why when I'm, with you guys here, this is why these streams have no ads on. When this isn't your main income, I just look at the ads and go, it ruins your experience, and that's why I don't monetize this. Of course, there's always the super chat stuff and the thanks and that. I can't turn that I don't turn that off. But the ads thing ruins everyone's experience. Because you're in the middle of talking about something and they really want to hear what's being said next. Maybe you're talking about the process. Like that leaks bit that we talked about. I'm about to name the ships and they get an unskippable ad. So why? Why would I do that to people? Even if I turned unskippables off and we just did skippables, that's still 5 seconds. You're like, wait, and I said, and then there's the Drake, and then it cuts to an ad, and you come back, and then I'm like, yeah, we're not talking about that anymore. Like, that's just, it's crap. It's an awful experience. And that's the beautiful thing about not doing this for money, is you just don't turn ads on. Like, so what? It's that. So, yeah, there is definitely an upside to not worrying about having to do any sort of money to do this. If I ever get to the point where this is self-sustaining in that it gets me the kit and the lights and maybe gets me a trip to CitizenCon every year, like I'm gonna be over the moon. And I mean CitizenCon in the UK. Next step, CitizenCon somewhere else. But yeah. Contracts. Okay, we're gonna in just a moment we are going to rejoin the guys so we can actually coordinate and see what's going on. But yeah, you should just be able to jump to the facility. No? Love your approach to the ad thing, Badges. Look, I mean, this is... I don't change because I hate change because I'm old. But this is the beautiful thing, like I said, about coming in with... the one thing I did do, the minute the channel started getting some traction, was sat down and thought about how I wanted to run all this stuff. And I had a conversation myself in the car driving down to see family about what if this ever became the possibility to do this for money for real world. And what came out of that conversation with myself was that I discovered that I really wasn't going to do that. As much as the job sometimes can get a bit frustrating, the beautiful thing about the work that I do is that there's a real reason behind it. Training other people to take calls and coordinate jobs that save lives around the coastline. That's just you can't put money on that. So yeah, I'm really happy to be doing that as a job. Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see. I might not stay in this role forever. The one thing that's very clear in the UK is things are getting more expensive, as I'm sure they are where you are as well, wherever you guys are watching from. So necessity might push me elsewhere, but this is a hobby. I love engaging with you guys. DGP was always supposed to be a place for waifs and strays. Initially for my friends, when we were playing games in different parts of the country, to know who was playing what. And now, ooh, there's a green marker. Have we got coloured markers for friends now? Ooh, that's cool. But yes, so that's the thing. DGP was that, and now that we have this community, anyone's welcome to come and pop in, and obviously everyone in the channel with me at the moment: Khan, Del Kenobi, Hellwinter, Stakara Sloth, Space, and Tibbs. We all met through this, which is really cool. Had the pleasure of meeting Khan at a gaming event that we did. Both Khan and Del Kenobi, we met up at the CitizenCon in Manchester. Gaming's a real force for good. You meet some amazing friends, people that I count myself very lucky to be friends with. So yeah. So here's the question then: do we think we can get to the Yormandi and kill it in 35 minutes? Is that a thing? Do you think we can do it? I'm hoping we can. Also, do you know what? I got the medevac, not the triage, but the red paint does look sexy. I mean, that's not just red, that's red, but that's very cool. That's not even understated red. That is as red gets. rate my landing. Nice. Good job. That's a stretch, but possibly. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's give it a go. Did you just send that down with no one in it? Well, that was silly. Yeah. There's going to be a reason they haven't gone down this thing, and I have. You watch. We don't push each other out of the elevators. I mean, you're not the boss of me. Okay, joining back in with the discard with the other guys now.
You don't walk around the ramp. It's just.
All right, boys. We've got everyone in here, haven't we? Everyone's invited.
Yeah, I think Can's still stuck in Lawville, but he said he'd make his own way.
Cool.
Why did you make me come to this dump?
We value you.
I think he got like
slaves and oppressive architecture. I don't like it.
I think he got some sort of kind of like tram pass, and he's just going on a guided tour of Lawville train system at the moment.
Oh, come on, go. Wait. Oh,
No,
you silly bastards.
I didn't do that. It did it on its own.
What just exploded?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Is that your...
We haven't even got to the mission and something exploded.
I'm hoping that was someone else coming here, just slammed into the side of the facility.
Could be. I mean, honestly, it sounds like whenever I break atmosphere, it sounds like that like sonic
Yeah.
boom you ever hear when you come out of quantum.
Right, we'll go down and start to clear.
They'll cancel it.
What we'll do is we'll push right immediately, so we'll just we'll head immediately towards Gravlab and just drop down the levels straight to the bottom of research.
Who are we waiting on here? We're waiting on Cloak and... Oh, you got that
Come on,
back
Saga.
open? Yeah.
Going down to engineering side, yeah?
No, research.
New research.
Research.
Thank you. As I was.
We're gonna go harass the eggheads.
Are we dropping all the way down?
Yes, mate.
All right.
Hoping the energy weapons don't give the Yormandi a bit of a head start, because if it does, you know, we're about to feel that. He says running around with his Demico.
Okay.
Let's see you
Pushing
right
away.
here. Okay, are we the last two, Del?
Yep, looks like it.
I'll hang with you in this. We'll let them kill everybody, then we'll catch up, eh?
That's right.
I finally sussed you out.
Well, we're getting lots of. Are we going straight down, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Just going to jump all the way down. I'm just going to stop on the first level and see if the thing is there. Oh!
Thank you. Nice job, Badgers.
Yeah, right? I cleared it all the way.
I know, that was actually really
boy.
good.
Ow.
You guys wait for it. Rock and roll.
That's when you know people have done well. That was the trip mine
All right.
here that I blew up, so don't...
Yippee-ki-yay.
Hellwinter's knees are now coming out of his shoulders.
Oh yeah.
He's about 3 foot
Well,
tall.
that one.
Yeah, I still don't know what this object is, and I still correct it every time we come down here.
Right. I just wait on badges.
Yeah, sorry.
That's
Oh,
alright.
am I being a drag ass again?
No, it's just I don't know where Del is actually. Del's right here.
Okay, yep, let's do it. I'm down with you. Dell's.
Was it?
Kills here. Right behind you.
Okay, this one. This one's covered.
These pussies out.
Oh wow, there's no ASD loot boxes.
I could roll that on then.
Body dispatch.
Yeah, that was a bad idea walking in front of me, wasn't it?
We're talking
We
about
call the
boxes,
lift.
they're shooting us.
Did somebody call a lift?
Doing
Hopefully.
Let me
Yeah,
know when
call
you
it.
Trigger it.
Anybody
Call
can
it. Call it. Call it.
Okay.
Calling now. Yeah, it's on its way. Yeah, Luna. I think you might be right. Screenshots, or it didn't happen, Luna. Come pop them in the Discord.
Shit.
Let me know when you're in.
Okay. 5 seconds.
Almost 3, 2, 1.
We're here. We're good. We're good. I've got the doors.
Roger that. I'm stuck behind a fucking couch.
Hellwinter.
Yep, you're good.
Yep, we got it.
Last man.
Last man, Roger.
Well, hello.
Hey, Skid.
Hey, it's good.
How's everybody today?
Oh, good. Thank you, mate. I don't know if you're I should have put a note on the channel. I don't know if you're aware, Skid, but we are streaming to YouTube, just so you're aware.
Okay.
Luna, it should be in the Discord. Sorry, it should be in the description. Should be one of the links down there.
So best behavior.
We're currently running through an ASD mission.
If it's not Luna, let me know and I'll pop it in the I'll pop it in chat.
Badger, did you get your hands on a pulverizer yet?
No, sir.
Do you still want one? I have 3.
Ooh, I would not say no to a pulverizer. That sounded slightly rude, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Stack.
Oh, I haven't been to this side before.
Ooh, there's a P6 LR Archangel. There's an F55.
Oh, what?
Yeah, in this box behind the ramp.
Nope.
Nope. Del, back up. Oh no, you can't go. Can you? Yeah, you should be able to jump back up. It's under the ramp up here. So if you go up there, where I'm shining the light.
Yep.
I don't know if you can jump back up. You might be able to jump up here, but it's under that like ramp of concrete. If not, then
Don't go through
that's
the
that.
next door, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Hold at the next door. Till Badgers is in.
Oh, I didn't know there was a box up here.
I didn't. I turned the wrong way and then saw the loot box and was like, maybe if I just loot the loot box, everyone on the stream will be like, oh, Badgers knows the location of a loot box, rather than me making a mistake and then covering it up.
Well, you guys already
Shit, I'm
already
still streaming, aren't I?
Hell
Yeah.
Yep.
Sir.
Are you already through? No, you're at 1.5 kilometers away.
Kilometers? No.
Yeah, you are 1 kilometer from us.
Oh yeah, because you're in the lift. You went across in the lift, didn't you? So we're catching you up. Hellwinter, can you go back right? Don't go yet. Don't go. Open the doors, please. Hellwinter next to me here. Yep, Del. There you go. Now we can go. Thanks, Joe.
Remember, boys and girls, elevator etiquette.
Still, in 2025, the most dangerous foe we have ever faced is these damn elevators.
Hey, you used to be the airlocks.
Well, yes,
There's
quite.
More of you in there.
Okay.
Okay. Moving through. I'll check admin. We got any fun LMGs? Ooh. So we got 2 of the stone-coloured Fresnels. In security, if anyone wants it.
Plenty of gallons here.
Yeah. Okay. Space, I'm gonna...
Back up to the lobby or
No, we've pushed further in.
Got a smolder Novakov backpack in here.
Ooh. Okay, last one on the elevator. Push the button, please.
Kenobi is almost there.
Roger.
Button. Where's the button? There's the button.
But
Sub level 1. Going down.
I'm not there yet, but okay, go ahead.
oh, boo, hell,
Dell, you can jump in. You
boo,
can back in.
jump it. No,
only
don't,
20
don't,
meters.
no, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
yes.
Oh,
No.
no. Didn't make
No.
it.
We must
That's
save
alright.
Are you alive?
Nope.
You're just incapped.
Yeah, but I only have like 15 seconds to live, so it's no big deal. I'll just respawn and come back to y'all. It'll just take me a sec.
That would have been
Roger.
awesome superhero landing if it would have worked.
Dell was up in the lobby. Sorry, Can's up in the lobby, Dell.
Yep, we'll come down together.
To your left.
Oh.
Dodgers.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh,
I'm
you saved him.
clearing the right spawn closet.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead.
Come here to join you with it.
But
Not
he's
open.
right there.
His body will despawn.
Oh.
It's just lag.
Darn.
Yeah.
Alright,
Saved
Ken.
him.
I thought I did.
Okay. Arms smolder here.
I'd gone down the first elevator.
Okay, I'm gonna catch up to you.
The first elevator in the research wing and then the drop down, correct?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's it.
right.
Yeah.
So get to the first elevator and turn right.
I get him.
Oh. I fell through something.
You glitched through that box.
I glitched through a rail.
Yeah, you're in a realm where they cannot harm you anymore, Winter.
Apparently. Oh, can I do something with it? Hold on.
No, we got someone stuck in that lunch before you. Only way you get to get out to do.
There's a sniper on the right walkway. I can't quite get him. He's
All right.
Hey,
Okay.
Ken? Come down.
I don't
Where are you?
see him on the right.
Okay, go for the boxes.
Ken, do you know how to come down?
Winter, if you
I'm in
reach,
the drop down.
You went out
How
the
did you get further down?
There's further down. Go back in that little elevator shaft and come down one more. Or turn the other way.
moving through.
There you go. Alright.
Right.
This way.
Wanna get down?
Let's just run past these ass clowns.
Oh, I was.
And then
Maybe I was
off
for that,
here, and here.
People already going down?
Yeah, let's push down. I'd like to see if I can get one of the yellow key cards if I could.
okay, Slave will go in.
I always find them on the first blue box we find on the entry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run up and grab the door. I mean the elevator, not the door. But as soon as I do that, they're gonna spawn. So careful on the left and right wings.
In general, Luna, if you like, that'd be awesome. Thank you. Yeah, got it. Perfect.
Check these boxes out, guys, because there might be a key card to go down quick route.
Yeah, I've got one yellow. There might be another one here. I think we found a couple in here before. Okay, and I know I'm basically saying this for the benefit of myself, but don't hit the button.
Do not touch the button.
Elevator's here.
Right.
Elevator's here.
We're going to wait on Dell.
Are you in?
anyway.
All right.
Yep.
You're in.
We need Dell.
Okay, we're going back to sub level 1. Did I lose my? Oh, you bastard!
What you lose?
What's up?
My med gun. That's fine. I'll find one along
Yeah.
the way.
There might be one if we look for some red guns and stuff when we're down.
Yeah, I'll find one. It's no big deal.
You're fine at the moment, apparently.
Yeah, I got 90%.
Okie dokie. There's a yellow key card in the box in front of me. The left hand on on this table. If anyone wants it, I got one. Ooh, what's that?
It's not letting me heal you.
Oh, pulverizer mag.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You got it, space?
I'll keep
I
hold of
got
that.
it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm leaving everything else in here,
Right here. There's
especially
gonna be
the
2
beanie hat.
drops. And then a little.
Cool. Okay, we're at the entrance to the Yomandi.
Roger. We just got to Site Bravo elevator.
Roger.
Yeah, they're 3 minutes away.
Yep. I'm in the central atrium. Catch
Yeah. Awesome, Luna. Looking forward to it.
It's time to pull your ammo.
I do believe if I'd have had a running start, I would have landed properly. And
I don't doubt it for a second, mate.
It's almost like you were looting when you should have been catching up.
yeah. No surprise there. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I was a little bit faster with the tractor beam, could have saved you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow, all the NPCs are shooting each other. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Nice. So, does anyone know, is there any drawbacks shooting this thing with an energy weapon? Sorry. Yeah, don't.
I have done
Okay.
it with an energy weapon before, but I don't think there's any drawback.
Okay.
I tend to usually just use the ballistics on it. So
As I say, so I'm not going to charge it up by shooting it with a Democo.
Are there any loot boxes?
he's still looting.
Come on, guys.
No, it's not like
We're waiting on the elevator at the moment.
Okay.
Elevator. Down.
Elevator. Where are you at? Hellwinter.
I just hit sub level. Sub level 1. I should have gotten to level 9.
Okay.
Wrong way.
No. Go back up to sub level. So once you call the elevator, you go back up to sub level 1, and when you come out, when you come out of that elevator, you turn left and drop down through the damage sections, and then you'll find the Site Bravo. So yeah, you go all the way to the bottom of research, get in the elevator, go up, and then turn left instead of right when you come out of the elevator.
That's why I got messed up.
Got to turn around a bit.
They're still shooting each other down here.
Have you gone back down?
We're gonna
there's
send
no
the elevator
e-stop
back up.
on these.
Thank you. For those in the stream, we will, if we don't get it quite done by 11 o'clock, we'll keep on until we kill the Yomandi.
Go down there, badges.
Alright,
That's-
Can, you wanna
that's
come off?
bad
All you
place,
do
is it?
go and hit the button to send it back up.
I'm off.
Oh, it's an only call.
Yeah, it is.
Well, unfortunately. Okay. Unfortunately, when are you gonna have to call the elevator? It takes about a minute to get back up there.
No worries. I'm having elevator fun today.
Right. Are we just running along this?
Running along there's going to be a point where you're going to have to stow your gun and basically jump over those boxes in the center. That's what I have to do anyway.
Yeah, just don't do what Hellwinter did. Fall through them.
Yeah.
I ain't vault with my gun equipped, apparently.
Right?
Alright, here we go. Site B elevator.
And then Ice, or camp right down the road. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
So has anyone in the party not done this fight yet?
Not successfully.
Okay. Cool. So, apologies, I'll just run over it because it'll be good for the stream as well. So while we're waiting for everyone to group up, basically there are 3 pools with walkways between them. We'll start engaging the first Yumandi once we pull the lever, so don't pull the lever until we're ready to go. But we pull the lever, the first Yumandi comes up, we damage it a bit, the second Yumandi will appear. So what we're going to do is we're going to split the groups into 2, with at least 1 medic in each. All right. Top tip for this: do not stand on the walkways between pools, because either Yumandi can engage you, you'll die really quick. Basically, it's got a couple of attacks. It can do a beam attack from its mouth at you. You'll see loads of stalactites around the pools. Basically, put a stalactite between you and it when that happens. However, the stalactites act like mining nodes, so if the same one takes too many hits, it will explode, and you'll have to find another one. It also does this attack, so it suddenly changes position, and then it does a lunge attack at you. Huge amounts of damage. Again, put a stalactite between you and it. When it spits at you, it will drop like a purple goop on the floor. Don't stand in that. It does a lot of damage. That's not worrying at all. Jesus, I didn't see in front of me say space. All I saw was that red dot, and it looked like it was coming at me. I pooped. I pooped. No. So there's that. Basically, when you look at the Yumandi on their bodies, there are 8 welts. They're just like little purple marks. That's what you want to aim for, because when you hit those, you do more damage. They're like weak spots. You do critical hits effectively. You can also shoot it in the mouth when the mouth is open, but that doesn't do huge amounts of damage. It does more than just shooting anywhere else. And then basically what will happen is that as you destroy all the welts, you'll then kill it. Okay? Who, please, if you just say your name, who's got a med gun on them and equipped?
Sloth.
Space Sloth, me. Anyone else?
I have
It does, but he doesn't know how much ammo for.
Okay, so
Who needs that?
what we're going to do is Space and Sloth, team 1, please. Stack and Badgers, team 2. And then what we're going to do is team 1 will focus on the first Yumandi. Team 2 will focus on the first one until the second one appears. When the second one appears, everyone in team 2 will switch over. Team 1, because they've done a bunch of damage already, will kill their Yumandi first. They'll then switch to 2. Okay, so listen out. I'm going to give you a number. That will be your team. Okay, Can 1, Del 2, Hell 1, Tibbs 2. Okay? So when the second Yumandi appears, you'll just hear Team 2 switch. You switch onto the second one. Everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, we've got time when we get in there. It doesn't trigger until we're done. If nobody... Okay, nobody press the button. What I will say while Hellwinter's on his way here is there's no rush to start it. We pull a lever to start it. It opens a case and there are plasma canisters, the same ones you load into the silos in the second phase in engineering. So once you've repaired the pipes, you go up to the top where the big Valacar is. You then put those plasma canisters that are explosive into the things. There's those in there. I've never used it to kill them, and I don't think it makes a massive amount of difference. But apparently you can put it in front of the beam, okay, and the beam will kill it. Also, as Ashra quite rightly puts out, do not fall in the pools themselves. It's an ouchie. Okay, once we've killed it, we need to move quickly. There's a hard kill timer on it. So just, you need to basically clear the room within a few minutes of killing it, otherwise it starts to fill with radiation and everyone dies. If we can't get the door open, like last time, we'll just quit the menu. Once it's dead, there are eyes and tongues to be looted from both. So both eyes and the tongue from each. Okay, is everyone good to go?
I think everyone's on.
Okay, scooch up, and then is everyone in? Last man.
Last man.
Okay, whoever's near the button, punch it.
Oh shit!
Oh, Tibbs.
Pushing me, yeah, stop pushing me.
Yeah,
Everyone's pushing.
Too late.
we're all good. We're all good.
Sacrifice Tibbs.
Yeah, poor old Tibbs.
Tibbs can fall out in a minute, so
Okay, so you can see the pools, you can see the walkways between the pools. Don't go on the walkways. Stay away from the water itself. And then what you want to do is spread out both this side and the other side. So where Tibbs is going is good. The way that I'm going during the fight is bad. You don't want to have your back to any of the water. What I recommend is during phase 1, he appears in one of these two pools here. I think it's this one. That's fine. The minute we go to phase 2, we need to spread out both sides. This far side that I'm looking at, the exit's over here. Okay. So just spread out amongst the pools. Who's next to the lever, please?
Dell's next to
No,
me. Del, I'm gonna throw a couple of crates across there and pull that lever, Del. So Del,
Yep. Yep. I won't.
Okay. Medics, make sure you got fresh cells in your med guns. Okay. Push the lever. Yep, that one. Let's do it.
Stay crouched, guys. They'll be standing up. It's easier for them to hit you. The area effect.
Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
It's gonna go in front of you.
Doing it.
Thanks, Luna. I'll have a look. Stand by. It's up. Aim for the welts on the body. You can see them react and start to glow as you hit them.
Someone shoot that canister.
Okay, second Yomandi should be appearing momentarily.
First one dived.
Yeah.
It's not
Is that the second one?
Okay, team 2 switch to the second if it's up, please.
Team 2 switching.
Yep, that's the beam attack you can hear. And that's the lunge attack. Stay out of the water. Badger's reloading. Wow. I've really pissed this guy off. Keep aiming for the welts.
Second dive.
Looks like, yeah, second one's dived and moved. Watch the beam. It'll spray it around.
First one's down.
Keep aiming for the welts. They're going red. It means it's taking a lot of damage.
Oh, interesting. Did not hit me.
That one's annoyed.
Oh, jeez. Make sure to duck.
Oh, yeah. He's not a happy boy. How are we doing on one?
One's down.
Roger. I think that's 2 down, isn't it? Good job.
You know what's interesting is I was standing right
Outstanding.
here, and
Yeah.
Outstanding, Del.
he shot at me several times and he
that's
never
right.
hit me.
Yep. Okay, if everyone could take one souvenir, either a tongue or an eye, to make sure everyone gets something. I'm good because I've got stuff, but there's an eye or there's a pair of eyes over here if anyone wants them.
I got the tongue.
Yeah,
And if you can't get
Not
to it, you gotta
grabbing
use the.
I'm not surprised. You might need to lie down, Dale, but you will get it.
Good job.
Or use the tractor beam.
Can't get this one.
You know, I hear you can eat beef tongue, but I wonder if this is tasty.
That's if you read the description for it, that's exactly what it is.
No wonder Wicklow wants it.
Yeah.
Tongue is good.
Okay, have we got both eyes from the other one?
Problem, the door is open, it's closed.
You have a problem still.
Yeah, well, let me take it.
You might want to. You just get. I got the tractor beam. I'll try and grab it out.
Exit door is closed.
It's closed, is it?
Yeah. it has
Okay. So this is the problem we're talking about. We're gonna have to basically quit back to menus. All right, because otherwise there's a hard kill on this room. There's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, good job, guys. Nicely done. Exiting to menus. I'm going to mute myself in Discord. I'll be back in a second.
Well done, fellas. Well done.
Nice.
We almost look like we know what we're doing, you know.
I know. And that's been immortalised on the stream, so good job. Back in a sec. So, there we go. That's that. Hopefully that wasn't too painful to watch in terms of screen rate, frame rate. Jesus, why was that so hard? So that's where we are. That was good fun. Yeah, that was. So that's the Your Monday. That's the fight. It just takes a little bit of coordination and arranging as you go in. Apparently, it has been kind of one manned. It can be two manned, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, not a bad mission at all. Stuff like that, those locations, playing with friends, is how I find that I'm definitely kind of getting past things like, my fatigue for the game. Hopefully you guys have found ways to cope as well. It sounds like one big advert. It's not. I'm just going to do this at the end because this is a really nice way to sign it off. If you do find that you are fatigued for the game, then you are more than welcome in DGP. You don't have to join the org if you don't want to. You can just come in whenever you feel like it, and there is us. Anytime you see us in the voice channels and stuff, just jump in, and there'll be someone. What's really nice about the community is we have now gotten to the point where we have been able to, like this happens. It's not just based around me. People are doing their own stuff, which is really cool. I want to finish off on like a really fun thing here. So this is what we're going to go look at right at the end. There you go. There's Luna's ship. So nice. It looks good, Luna. That looks really good. So yeah, well done you. I'll join again next weekend. This weekend was just enough. Sorry to hear it was bad, Ashra. That's not good news, but I'm, hopefully it gets a little bit better for you, mate. I can only hope, right? But yes, yeah, really good. Like that. So we're gonna finish out on this one, rather than our normal sign out, just because I've got this stuff and I paid for it. So by God, I'm going to use it. So there's that. It's been great to have you all in the stream. Thank you very much. This stuff always makes me feel a little bit more enthusiastic for Star Citizen, and it's just an absolute pleasure to spend time with you guys. So, you've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Thank you ever so much for stopping by. I'll see you soon. I forgot my own sign-off. Jesus, I'm awful.